My name is Posire Marupe and I was told to come to this class.
No wonder. You know, some of us pay our own school fees. We do not have the so-called daddies to pay for us.
Can you imagine me and Will Smith are literally buddies? Sorry, Jada.
How would you like if I pay your fee alias?
That is not enough even for dowry.
You concentrate. Who is paying your dowry?
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
Sikiza tune hii, Ufunuo wa Yohana 38 dial *811 *817#.
Wakati mwingi katika maisha binadamu hujipata kwa shida, unapata ya kwamba hauna usaidizi unaohitaji, biashara zinaisha, hakuna mapato ya kila siku. Lakini hata kwa hayo yote, Biblia inasema ya kwamba katika kitabu cha Ufunuo wa Yohana mlango wa 3 mstari wa 8, na yajua matendo yako. Tazama, nimekupa mlango uliofunguliwa mbele yako.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya Yohana 38 dial *811 *817#. Dial *811 *817#.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
We take it on at the right time.
Honorable Musalia Mudavadi.
The Honorable Mutahi Kagwe.
Chief Justice Martha Karambuko.
This is KBC, is the voice of Kenya.
Asking the right questions.
I don't know how it made you feel as speaker who is presiding over a house where members can be compromised with 10,000 shillings.
We keep our guests comfortable. A mission to ensure our audience gets a complete story.
For a few hours or so, I thought this is it. My end has come.
If really we want an end of this pandemic, we must fight.
Our goal, to tell it as it is for the benefit of our viewer.
And I'm sure we will have good discussions.
All right.
That will make probably your viewers understand KDF better.
With 21 radio outlets.
During a live interview on KBC TV, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibosha.
Jaji mkuu kwa mara ya kwanza katika mahojiano yake ya kipekee na runinga ya KBC Channel 1.
And 2 TV stations covering over 90% of the entire country. The message always gets home. KBC, the home of on-air TV interviews.
A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us here on Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. My name is Betty Kiptum and Lucy Moura is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Now, Kenya Forest Service has flagged off 26 single cabin vehicles to boost protection of forests, conservation efforts and management. The vehicles that were procured through a partnership between the government of Kenya and the African Development Bank will serve 26 forest stations within the Mount Kenya, Aberdares and Mau forest ecosystems. Chief Conservator of Forests Julius Kamau called on Kenyans to continue supporting the service in its mandate to conserve, protect and manage Kenya's public forest cover.
Speaking during the flagging off of the vehicles, Chief Conservator of Forests Julius Kamau lauded the 6-year Green Zones Development Support Project Phase 2 partnership between the government of Kenya and the African Development Bank that has jointly channeled $55 million towards its execution.
This phase, which runs from 2019 to 2025, the objective is purely to support conservation of our forest resources, support community livelihoods for sustainable management of forest resources.
Sentiments echoed by the project manager Jerome Mwanzia, who called on the ecosystem conservators who will receive the new fleet of vehicles to commit themselves to the services mandate.
We are working a lot with communities, stakeholders, and that coverage requires mobility. Mobility is very, very key. We are giving you the tools for work, and we want you now to see results out of that. We want to see results not only as a project but also as KFA.
These vehicles are insured and these vehicles are fuel cans, so they are ready for work now. So from today you just go and continue working with them.
Therefore, this gives the forest station managers a very high level of expectation that these vehicles are not personal mobile vehicles. They are purely vehicles to be used purely for what they have been bought for.
The investment is expected to contribute towards the actualization of the project goal of rehabilitating a total of 337,500 hectares of degraded natural forest cover, which is part of the service's strategic objective of rehabilitating 500,000 hectares of the same by the year 2022.
And I think this resonates well with actually COP26, which actually has a very huge commitment towards stopping degradation and improving and supporting the communities to be able to have practical adaptive actions which are very local and real. And you have seen we have been swinging from extreme drought to floods. We must conserve our forests to ensure that they provide mitigation and strike a balance between extreme weather situations that we face as a country.
Kamau is now calling on Kenyans to complement their conservation efforts in hopes of achieving the 10% forest cover by 2022. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News. And a prolonged drought continues to wreak havoc in parts of Wajir County, with majority of the locals facing a humanitarian crisis. The dire situation has seen residents who are largely pastoralists lose their livestock due to the lack of water and pasture.
Lagbogol village in Wajir County. Hundreds of livestock could not survive the vagaries of weather. Everywhere you go, carcasses lie. The situation replicating in many villages here. The situation has prompted action from Kenyans of goodwill, who have started mobilizing food and other essential goods to be distributed to hundreds of affected families. On this day, a group of business people operating in the region, in conjunction with a number of non-profit organizations, delivered a consignment of 90 tons of food aid. The donation is aimed at benefiting about 600,000 families in the innermost parts of Wajir County.
Hata wanalalanga njaa, hata kuna wengine ambaye hata wakishi moto hawana kitu kabisa. Alhamdulillah, sahi kuna mwenzetu ambaye ndugu yetu ametusaidia hapa.
Shukuru Ajis Price ameletoa ration ya kutosha, ameletea watu. Tunashukuru, asante sana.
They promised to sustain efforts to reach those in need, even as locals welcomed the move, noting that the support, especially food aid, was long overdue.
Eneo hili ya Lekbogol hawatalala njaa kwa wiki moja ama wiki mbili zijazo. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru Mungu kuwa sisi ndo among the first people kuleta msaada hapa.
We have decided as a company to give back to our community and to do some help as much as we can.
The business people rallied Kenyans to offer their support to fellow citizens in regions affected by the ongoing drought.
We now want to take you to Taji Gardens, where the ODM leader Raila Odinga is currently speaking. Let's listen into that.
Work full-time or go into private practice full-time. The second one was Njeriga Thecha, a farmer, and she talked about the high cost of seeds, which makes her business not to be viable. But we can actually expand it to say high cost of inputs. Seeds is just one of them. Fertilizer, in some cases, is another one. When you walk around the country, like in the Rift Valley, the biggest complaint among the farmers is the high cost of fertilizer, which actually make their produce not competitive. For example, right now, a bag of maize, 90 kilo bag of maize, actually here in Kenya, the cost of production is 2,500 shillings per bag. Uganda produces it at 1,500 shillings per bag. So if Ugandan maize comes here, it pushes our farmers out of business. So we must address this. There is no country in the world, particularly in the developed countries, where agriculture is not subsidized. So we must subsidize our agriculture to make inputs accessible and available at reasonable cost to our farmers. That's when the farming will become a rewarding enterprise. Number 3 was Uni Harun from Garissa. Namalia sana mambo ya maji. Maji ni uhai. And maji need to be made not as a luxury but a necessity to all our people. In what we call arid and semi-arid lands of our country, because we have no deserts here. It's not that it does not rain. When it rains very heavily, and there is flooding. That water is taken to the rivers. The rivers carry that water to the ocean. Ocean, bahari haina haja na maji. Bahari iko na maji ya kutosha. Yale ambayo pale ambayo sisi tumeanguka mtihani ni kuvuna maji. Kuziba dams, mabwawa na vidimbwi ili wakati mvua inanyesha tunavuna hiyo maji. So we harvest the water so that when the dry period comes, there is sufficient water for the livestock and also for the use of the people. And bring that water closer to homes where people live. Ili wakina mama wasihangaike kutembea makilomita mengi kwenda kutafuta maji. Hiyo inaweza kufanyika. Garissa has already shown that with the water available, Garissa can be very productive. Right now, Garissa is producing more lemon than the coast province itself. Half of the Garissa, we had planned under Vision 2030, what we call the Grand Falls Mutonga Dam, the last dam along the Seven Forks of the River Tana. And that dam was going to be able to produce nearly 1,000 megawatts of electricity and would be used for irrigation down so that the flooding which takes place around Garissa, Tana River and so on will be eliminated. And the water will be made available for the farmers going down there. The land there is very fertile because when it rains up here in the Abadeas, in the upper catchment areas here, all that topsoil is washed by the river and deposited, some in Garissa, some in Tana River. You have a delta down there. we can be able to produce a lot of things down there, and we will do it. Kazia Nyambora Kikomba, maji moto ya Kikomba, nguvu ya Kikomba. Lakini hiyo moto ya Kikomba na mimi ni Nairobi. Mimi najua siri ya Nairobi. Jogo la shamba haliwiki mjini, lakini mimi ni jogo la mji. Jana nilienda Kibera because there was a fire the day before yesterday at the Kibera market, the hawkers market, which is attached to the main market there in Kibera. And a number of stalls were burnt. But we have been fighting that war down there ever since I was a member of parliament. The land grabbers, those who want to grab the land for private purposes. And their title is the bandia, ambayo zilikuwa issued. And we fought that war for a long time. The same thing with Kikomba. The Hasunis who are burning Kikomba are known. The people who know it, sometimes, even recently when they did it, they were caught on video. You could hear them talking, saying to the Kubalena, namna hii. Why are they not being arrested and charged? Why are they walking around? We need to deal with these criminals. This issue is not just confined to Nairobi. When I was down at the coast, similar case. People who run to the courts, they know their way around the courts, they bribe themselves, the judges, and get orders. Then they come with court orders, they get the support of the police, they come with bulldozers to demolish properties down there, and people living there as squatters. I say that these people, we must put them on notice. They belong to jail. The same thing with, and then she also went further to say that the market itself is dirty, and I'm happy that I'm with the incoming governor of Nairobi here. And that our locations are also biasly done. Wengine wanatoka huku nje na wanapewa stalls na wale watu ambao wanaishi hapo hawapati. Those are small issues. We will ensure that are done properly. Kama sivyo. And then the other issue, which is very fundamental, is harassment of the SMEs. You see, we call them micro, small and medium enterprises. This is where we want to start. That's why we are talking about uchumi mashinani. Uchumi mashinani. That we start down there with, if the farmers, we introduce smart agriculture so that they can be able to produce not just for consumption, also with excess for the market. With these people, the SMEs, so these SMEs need to be empowered properly. That is where it starts. That is where you fight poverty. And we said, and you saw it in BBI, that we give these people access to proper capital. They can be able to borrow money. We are going to create a fund through which these people can borrow money and don't pay any interest until after 7 years when the businesses are matured. And they should also be protected from being harassed by KRA, the Revenue Authority.
That is the ODM leader Raila Odinga speaking there at the Catholic University, just addressing the Azimio La Kina Mama conference. He is talking about what his government will do if he gets in power next year in 2022. He has talked about matters subsidization of agriculture to ensure that the sector is becoming a rewarding enterprise and more Kenyans can venture into agriculture, as well as many other things he's looking to achieve in that post. Now we have some breaking news for you. The 3 committee escapees have been arrested in Mwingi. We have been informed that they have been arrested in Mwingi, and we are working on the details of that report for you. The 3 committee escapees who escaped a few days ago have been arrested in Mwingi. We move on to other news. Over 2,200 children under 5 years in Garissa County are malnourished as a result of the ongoing drought in the region. Lagdera Deputy County Commissioner Philip Kome has subsequently called for immediate intervention from all stakeholders and urged health stakeholders to continue conducting surveillance on the situation.
Speaking after chairing the county steering committee, the administrator revealed that the drought situation in Garissa is at a crisis level and is likely to get worse in the next few weeks if the region doesn't receive rainfall.
I can largely say that the situation is actually at a crisis level in Garissa, and we are seeing the possibility of the situation even deteriorating more. We had 2 failed rain seasons, which actually occasioned the current severe drought which is experienced in Garissa County.
He said that they are, however, working round the clock to ensure they install specific measures to cushion Kenyans, particularly in severely affected areas. He further stated that 168,000 people are still in need of relief food. However, the government last month announced that it will shift from food relief to cash transfer due to the challenge of reaching some of the far-flung areas.
As the government policy has already shifted from providing family relief, instead the government has enrolled the severely affected population so that they are put on cash transfer. And already we have actually done the enhanced cash transfer registration, targeting 307,000 mostly affected population of this county.
The Deputy County Commissioner said the government will enhance water trucks and provide livestock supplementary food to ensure residents don't lose their livestock.
Going to ensure that we have enhanced water tracking and the provision of livestock supplementary feeding for those most affected areas, so that we ensure that we have had a situation of losing the livestock.
The Kazi Mtaani program has been extended to June 2022. Principal Secretary for State Department of Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, in a statement said those interested in the program should register through the Kazi Mtaani Management System portal. The recruitment process for the 3rd phase of the program will begin tomorrow. The Kazi Mtaani program has been offering relief to thousands of youth across the country.
The recruitment announcement comes weeks after President Uhuru Kenyatta, during his Mashujaa Day celebrations speech, said the program will continue as it has positively impacted lives of hundreds of thousands of youths in the country. The Kazi Mtaani Phase 3 program is said to be robust and will be implemented in over 900 informal settlements across the country. In the 1st and 2nd phases of the program, over 280,000 youths were employed from 1,100 informal settlements in the 47 counties. Interested persons will be required to register through the Kazi Mtaani Management System portal. The online portal will ensure those interested will be registered in a timely, transparent and efficient manner that will be equitable across the board. The expanded phase will equip the youth with skills aimed at creating job opportunities, as well as enable them engage in self-employment in different fields. The Kazi Mtaani program was launched in April 2020 as a local economic recovery initiative and a form of social protection designed to cushion the youth and vulnerable citizens in informal settlements. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Now, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru says she is ready to face her opponents in the UDA nominations. Waiguru says she is in UDA to stay and challenged her opponents, who include Kirinyaga Women Rep Wangui Ngirishi, to prepare for a bruising political battle.
Weeks after defecting to the UDA party, Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru has hit the ground running, popularizing the party. Waiguru has dismissed assertions that she fears facing her opponents, who include Kirinyaga Woman Rep Wangui Ngirishi, calling on her opponents to prepare for a bruising battle.
Mpango wa bottom up, tuinue watu wetu ambao wamekaa kwa umaskini miaka mingi. Tunakuelewana hivyo? Kwa hivyo nikimalizia, mtawakumbusha tu nikisema minji mnasema pia wera wa.
Waiguru says her opponents have been feeling entitled, courtesy of joining the party earlier and consequently dimming the prospects of a party. In Narok, contestants for the governor position are pulling out all the stops as they seek to outdo each other. Youth Affairs Principal Secretary Charles Sunkuli and Narok West Member of Parliament Gabriel Tongoyo were both in Narok East as they sought the support of a Kikuyu community living in the area.
Wakati wa kuchagua mtu ambaye atakuwa governor, mkuwe waangalifu sana, msipeane hiyo kiti kiholela na msipee watu wenye kiherehere, kwa sababu governor ako na nguvu ya kusimamia mali nyingi, ako na nguvu ya kuunda sheria itakayo affect maisha ya watu, na ako na nguvu ya ushawishi wa kisiasa. The people of Narok County, especially jamii zote, lazima zinataka kuachwa in safe hands, kwa mikono inayofaa.
When it comes to advice together, I know how to consult. Tuje tuketi wote, because I'm a man of consultation.
In the meantime, 9 members of the County Assembly of Kilifi have launched an aggressive campaign to popularize the newly formed Pamoja African Alliance PAA political party. The MCAs claim the party will give the coastal region its rightful stake in national politics.
Kufanya kazi na baba sio aibu, na hatuoni kama ni aibu, na hatutarajii kwamba itakuwa aibu. Lakini tunataka kufanya kazi na mtu ambaye ataheshimu mtu wa pwani.
Kapu lake 2022 litajaa, lakini kujaa kwake halitajaa tu na ODM hapa Kilifi, litajazwa na chama cha PA.
Serikali ya Kenya ikipanga, inapangia wale wamejipanga, na wale ambao hawajipangi serikali inawaacha kando.
The MCAs have also vowed to support the political path taken by Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi, who founded the PAA party. John Jacob Curia, Lunchtime News.
And residents of Ongata Rongai in Kajiado North Sub-County have raised concerns over the spiraling insecurity in the area. The residents claim that in the last few months, 3 people have been stabbed to death and dozens left with injuries after they were attacked by criminal gangs. We shall be bringing you that report in a little bit. But we take you to Lamu, where Lamu West MP Stanley Muthama has called on the electorate to elect leaders with development record and policies in the next general election. Speaking in Peketoni during a funeral ceremony, Muthama warned the people against electing leaders on the basis of ethnicity and bribery.
Pofika mwaka wa 2022 ama hata sasa, upige hesabu muone makadirio hayo na utumizi wa rasilimali zenu na utendakazi na uaminifu na uwajibikaji katika sehemu hii ya Lamu Magharibi.
The Central Regional Commissioner Wilfred Nyagwanga has directed the erection of intelligence-based roadblocks along the major roads in the region to curb drug trafficking. The administrator in particular said the vice is rampant along roads connecting the region to neighboring counties, which are the source of the drugs, especially bhang. He further said in most cases the criminals hide the bhang in spare tires.
Na ile kitu inatusumbua katika hii Murang'a na Central Region kabisa ni maneno ya pombe haramu na drugs. Lakini tumeweka mikakati ya kuhakikisha kwamba vile tumejaribu kumaliza maneno pombe haramu.
Kwa hivyo wale officers ambao wako kwa barabara wakitilia manane, tunaweza saidia officers wenye wako ground juu tukizuia kutokana na roadblocks. Hata kama kuna kitu itafika, hiyo officers wenye tuko nao watawezana.
Bor in Kabarnet are protesting the converting of Captain Bor dispensary into an oncology clinic without subjecting the decision to public participation. The residents who rejected the use of a mobile clinic to replace the dispensary say the clinic offered more health services which may no longer be available and cannot be accommodated by the mobile clinic.
Irata residents decrying the move say the county health department needs to operationalize other units within the dispensary rather than withdrawing in totality all health services. They say that the mobile clinic and tents which were erected within the facility cannot effectively serve approximately 400 patients who need services at the dispensary.
The mobile clinic, we cannot say it was just away. We cannot say that. What we said, it was just on usability. It was rejected. It could not work. They thought this mobile clinic would have worked for some time, but when we personally checked and the community checked, we realized it is not even usable. It cannot work.
Barnet Ward MCA Ernest Kibet admitted that the decision to convert the dispensary into a cancer clinic was hurriedly done without involvement of the community, who are the custodians of the facility. Residents have vowed to paralyze activities at the oncology clinic unless it is reverted back into a dispensary.
The way it was brought almost created a clashing between the existing infrastructure and what was being brought. So we want to say that dispensary is almost part of the preventive health care, and we would not want to lose that.
The ward representative recommended the establishment of a stronger dispensary committee who will be closely monitoring activities at the facility to avert such shortcomings in the future. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Amboi Otiende.
And plans are underway to bring the Mekatilili Wamenza gravesite back to its glory. The gravesite, located at Ulaya Kwajele in Magarini, Kilifi County, and that acted as a historical site, is in a dilapidated state. The move, initiated by Kaya elders, aimed at enabling people to learn about the fallen heroine who led the Giriama uprising against the British colonial rule years back.
The legendary Mekatilili Wamenza's gravesite has for years been a key historical site where the annual Mekatilili Wamenza's festivals used to take place but is run down. The Kaya elders, led by the national coordinator of the Mijikenda Kaya elders, Sumanzami Kombe, said the family had resolved to renovate the burial site. The elders had accompanied the Menza family for a visit to the site to conduct traditional rituals.
Familia wamekaa vizuri, wakaweza kukaa na wakapanga kuwa atakayetaka heshima ya Mama Mekatilili ni aweze kuja huku Bungale, manake historia yake ndio iko. Tumekuja, tumeungana na familia, tumeweza kuweka tambiko. Kulikuwa kuna mambo mengi hapo tumeyarekebisha. Hususan tunataka ni heshima yake.
Alphonse Mkare Jefwa, a great-grandson of Mekatilili, called upon the government to support the efforts to recognize the site.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ikaweze kututambua na kisha kutambua sehemu hii ambapo amelala huyu mama yetu Mekatilili Wamenza. Tunaomba hata serikali ya county pia ikaweze kututambua kisawasawa.
The family of Mekatilili wants to start a foundation that will help in education, conservation and promote family values. Sheila Yogo reporting for Lunchtime News.
Residents of Ongata, Rongai in Kajiado North Sub-County have raised concerns over the spiraling insecurity in the area. The residents claim that in the last few months, 3 people have been stabbed to death and dozens left with injuries after they were attacked by criminal gangs.
The irate residents of the populous town claim incidents of burglary, rape and mugging have become a daily routine despite their continuous cry to security agents.
Kusema kweli security ya hapa kwetu it is wanting kwa sababu hatuko sure wamama wakija hivi wanapigwa ngeta wakija sokoni.
Motorcycle riders say they are usually ambushed after dusk or at dawn when they are picking or dropping their passengers, making their work risky.
Huku Kware kuna watu tunaomboleza bado na ni vijana wadogo wanauliwa. Sasa security Rongai hakuna kabisa.
They are pointing accusing fingers at a group of youth which they claim were unleashing terror on innocent residents, with women bearing the major brunt of the crime.
Hali ya usalama si nzuri hapa Rongai. Vijana wamejitokeza tu, sijui wametoka wapi, wanaibianga watu tu usiku. Hata ikifika saa 3 unasikia tu nduru imeanza, sasa unashindwa hizo ni nini?
The residents want security to be intensified and idle youth possibly planning crimes be profiled. Their attempts to reach Kajiado North Sub-County Police boss for comment were futile.
We take a quick break here on Lunchtime News. When we come back, more news. Stay with us.
The coastal region is a construction site, literally. From highways and byways to ports and shiny roads, the evidence is there to be seen and to be touched. But what are the economic benefits of all these projects?
Better connectivity, more efficient roads, give people an opportunity to actually acquire land away from a busy commercial center and go to areas where land is cheaper and therefore use the excess money to invest into productive activities.
This week on Inside Government, we focus our trail on infrastructural development at the coast, and we are talking to the chairperson of Kenya National Highways Authority, Engineer Rongai Irango, right here on KBC Channel 1.
Juu milimani na hata mabondeni, Radio Taifa inatamba kutamba. Sasa unaweza kupokea matangazo ya Radio Taifa loud and clear popote ulipo Western Kenya.
Radio Taifa usisahau unaweza ukatupata kupitia
ukiwa Busia, Siaya, Vihiga, Mumias, Yala na maeneo yaliyoko karibu. Radio Taifa inapatikana kwenye 104.5 FM, na ukiwa Bungoma, Kakamega, Kiminini, Kipkaren na viunga vyake, pata vipindi na burudani safi kupitia 92.3 FM. Radio Taifa, sauti ya Mkenya.
back, let's get the business news. The National Assembly's Committee on Trade and Industry is probing how 139 40-feet containers of edible oil from Malaysia were sneaked out of a private container freight station in Mombasa. The 139 containers of cooking edible oil were intercepted in 2019 after the Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Bureau of Standards, and other government agencies raised a red flag on the basis that the consignment was not fit for human consumption.
Parliamentary Committee on Trade and Industry, chaired by Mandera South MP Adan Haji Ali, toured the facility after it emerged that 88 out of 139 containers had been released. The committee chair called upon the DCI to speed up the investigations to unravel how the condemned oil ended up in the local market and prosecute the culprits behind the theft syndicate.
53 containers have been stolen. They are gone.
Of oil that was condemned.
That was condemned. And sadly, they must have been converted to the local market. We are told that DCI is carrying out investigation. We believe this investigation cannot take forever. And it is not a rocket science to establish the liability, who is actually behind those stolen 53 containers.
Dagoretti South MP John Carey requested the committee to undertake an inquiry and report on the status of products seized by the multi-agency team. The Dagoretti South constituency legislature further stated that they need clarification from the multi-agency team who were involved in the overseeing the exercise of the condemned edible oil.
The first thing that is a big concern for the public is if this foodstuff has left a bonded warehouse, where did it end up? Because chances are it ended up on your table and you're consuming poison.
The committee is in Mombasa to undertake physical inspection visits to about 8 CFA storage facilities to ascertain the status of the seized goods.
This investigation is revealing that there has been criminal activities happening at this CFS. Then I do reiterate what the chairman is saying, that this is actually a sin that should be taken up as a sin of crime and treated as such. Meaning that...
Reporting for Lunchtime News, Macau McBrien.
Co-operative Bank Group has reported a 20% growth in profit before tax from 13.8 billion shillings recorded in the third quarter of 2020 to 16.5 billion shillings for the third quarter this year. Credit management remains a key focus area aimed at supporting a return to pre-pandemic non-performing loans levels, with loan loss provisions increased to 6 billion shillings in the third quarter of year 2021.
Co-Bank Group's total assets grew by 82 billion shillings to 592.9 billion shillings compared to 510.9 billion shillings in the same period last year. Net loans and advances grew by 22.1 billion shillings from 284.2 billion shillings to 306.3 billion shillings. Customer deposits grew from 375.5 billion shillings to 420.4 billion shillings. Borrowed funds grew by 17.7 billion shillings to 43.8 billion shillings from 26.2 billion shillings in 2020. The group increased loan loss provisions to 6.0 billion in the third quarter of year 2021 in appreciation of challenges that businesses and households continue to face due to the effects of the ongoing pandemic. A total of 49 billion shillings in loans were restructured during the CBK restructure window, with the restructured facilities largely performing as per the realignment agreements. The bank has successfully moved 93% of all customer transactions to alternative delivery channels. Key focus on digital banking led to the growth of non-funded income, with 5.3 million customers registered and loans worth 51.3 billion shillings this past year to date, averaging 5.7 billion shillings per month. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
The government has set aside 3 billion shillings to help beef cattle farmers in Nyandarua County to prepare livestock for the export market. The money will be used to identify, test and prepare animals for export in live and packed meat form to markets outside Kenya.
The meat sector currently contributes 12% of the country's GDP and 45% of the agricultural GDP. Chief in the Ministry of Livestock, Lawrence Omohaka, says the 3 billion shillings will be used to construct sheds, laboratories for tasting and providing feed in the collating centers for animals awaiting export.
Exporting live animals and meat products to other countries. And we have to identify those animals early enough and we're able to trace them. And each animal will even have records, and the record will be kept in passport. So before we take it to Lamu, where we have actually the government has set aside 3 billion for construction of the holding grounds before exportation is done.
Nyaururu Animal Health Industrial Training Institute Principal Esther Ngede said the future of dairy farming in Nyandarua lies in irrigation-supported fodder growing as opposed to dependence on rain-fed cultivation.
And so we want to be, as a training institution, a model where we can do fodder production using all methods, both rainwater and irrigation water, now that we have the dams that assisted to drain off our flat land.
The institution is growing different types of grass in fields, which they are planning to expand for purposes of research.
And businesses have been challenged to be more aggressive in trading abroad as a way of boosting consumption of locally made goods and improving business networking practices with foreign jurisdictions. Stakeholders say foreign markets offer opportunities for joint ventures and local and knowledge exchange for businesses ready and willing to expand beyond Kenya's borders.
According to the latest Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency statistics, in 2020, Kenya recorded a 15.5% increase in total exports for the months of January to August 2021, indicating that the country's efforts to increase output is bearing fruit. However, stakeholders say the entire value chain needs to get on board in order to reach optimum levels.
I want to challenge our Kenyan business people that we need to be in China. We need to be present in Chinese soil so that we can be able to foster the economic relationship and partnership between China and Kenya.
Kenya's ease of doing business has also been highlighted as a factor in luring foreign investors, who in turn help local businesses gain business networking ties.
Of course, also Kenya's legal framework for investment provides adequate investor protection in line with most international standards, including safeguards for property rights and expatriation.
MSMEs have identified experiences such as the ongoing 4th Kenya International Industrial Expo exhibition in Nairobi as those that offer best opportunities for gaining export knowledge for their wares.
Kenya International Industrial Expo has scored much success in its previous 3 sessions. From the first session in 2018 till today, the number of companies joining the expo has jumped from 31 to 117.
Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
Poor investment decisions, lack of research, bad partnerships, ineffective marketing and inadequate technical and professional expertise are some of the factors that lead to the collapse of startups within 5 years of their existence. To remedy these, micro, small and medium enterprises are leveraging on business incubation strategies for their survival. Our reporter Regina Manyara was in Kariobangi Biashara Incubation Hub and takes us through what business incubation entails.
Research indicates that 21.5% of startups fail in the first year, with the majority collapsing by the 5th year. However, there is reprieve with the adoption of business incubation models that cushion startups by providing workspaces, training on bookkeeping, market access, and professional services.
We have SMEs who are here, they are registered with us, and once you come inside here, you find there are several services that we provide. We have the motor vehicle fabrication, we have innovation and incubation center for the MSEs, and we also have the business development services that I'm talking about. And the business development services are actually provided for by most of the agencies who are here under the Biashara Center. We call it a hub.
The Kariobangi Biashara Hub is one such pioneer facility open to MSMEs seeking to start their franchise.
Nimekuwa kwa hii uwanja ya Msea Kariobangi kwa miaka 5, na hii uwanja inasaidia sana wanyabiashara wadogo kama mimi kwa kuwapea space ya kazi, na kuna training wanaofa kwa digital training ya computer, hata ya kazi yenyewe wanaofa.
As an incubator, it supports emerging businesses with several services such as assistance in building management teams, developing business and marketing plans, funds, professional services, shares equipment, as well as access to government agencies like the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Kenya Bureau of Standards.
If it's a new business and they want to have a new product, we have the KEBS guy here. They can tell them how to get the product to a study level. We have the KRA, we help them to get the PIN certificates. We have the KIPI, we can help them to copyright their ideas. We have KIE, they can help them get funds. We have MSEA, we can offer business support. So there are many agencies involved here to help the SME grow.
How does one qualify for incubation?
It depends on what business you're having. Because as you can see here, we usually have a lot of industrial works. So it depends. If it's something that is flammable, no. But other agencies can house you also.
After the vetting, the startup benefits from the facility's amenities, including space and access to electricity, for a period of 2 years.
How long does it take one to be incubated here? 1 year is just for you to work around your business and to see how to go about it. The next year, then we assist you in terms of market linkage and access. Once you're now full blown and you're able to stand on your own, then we let you go and fly away. Would you say that the center has met its objective? We can say we have met our target because our customers are happy, they come, and we have even over subscription.
So far, over 1,200 traders have gone through the center.
Space ya kufanya kazi yenye iko secure kama hii huku nje hakuna. Kuna sehemu ukiacha gari huwezi acha gari ya mtu kama hii, ama mtu hawezi kutrust ufanye kazi kama hii kama amerelax. Lakini vile tulipata hii uwanja na iko secure, hatusumbuana na customer, hata customer akona furaha, gari yao iko safe, malipo hapa ni mzuri, unaona iko ile favorable itufinyi.
Availability of power, water, security and secure infrastructure, yes, I definitely recommend.
Plans are underway to expand and operationalize the Biashara incubation hubs across the country.
Yeah, that is the way to go, because remember we are looking into manufacturing as a pillar for the economy. Remember, with manufacturing, then it comes the other services that you come with it, because we manufacture for the market, and therefore they cannot all come to Kariobangi, they will not all go to Nairobi, so we need to have them decentralized to these regions.
Safe locations to conduct business, security, capital. This is just some of the challenges that MSMEs face, especially startups. Government has already prioritized the manufacturing sector, and industrialization is at the fore. Plans are also underway to have such facilities expand to other counties across the country. If you're an SME, then you need to take advantage of these Biashara hubs. I'm Regina Manyara, you're watching KBC Business.
Ruiru Golf Club will become the latest venue to host the 2021 NCBA Golf Series, marking the 22nd and penultimate leg in the series calendar, which teed off in January this year. Meanwhile, Kenya Breweries Limited, KBL, has announced the return of the Johnny Walker Classic Golf Series. The series, dubbed Road to Gleneagles, will traverse 20 golf clubs across the country, culminating in the grand finale, which will be played at the end of the tournament in May 2022.
200 golfers have been drawn to battle it out at the past Event 2 course for a chance to secure the remaining 5 slots available for play at the series grand finale, which will be held next month at the Karen Country Club. A total of 100 golfers, comprising of the top 5 finishers from each of the 20 senior golf events held in the calendar, have so far qualified to play at the grand finale. Of the 100, 3 will be junior golfers who emerged overall winners at their respective club events at Karen, Limuru and Royal Golf Clubs. NCBA has encouraged junior golfers to be part of its seniors events and has held junior golf series that brought together 85 juniors for a 2-day contest at the Karen Country Club in August this year. The top 43 finishers were picked to participate at the Rome Classic Golf event in October and at the Big 5 tournament in South Africa next year. Elsewhere, the Classic Golf Series returns this weekend, with the series consisting of 18 qualification rounds across participating clubs, where 216 golfers will qualify to play in the later stages of the event.
We officially kick off our Road to Gleneagles Classic, partnering of course with VET, who kick off with us on Saturday. So looking forward to a great run, and also now the overall winning prize, where we get to take fantastic players to experience Johnny Walker in Scotland, but most importantly also have a round to play at Gleneagles, also known as the King's Castle.
Additionally, the series will incorporate professional golfers for the first time in the competition, with the aim being to provide them with the much needed exposure and improved competitiveness in the lead up to the main event, that is the Magical Kenya Open and the Kenya Savannah Classic.
The amateurs will be able to hone some skills from the pros that they'll be playing with, and then eventually the amateurs will also attend the finals in Scotland.
VetLab Sports Club will have the privilege of hosting the opening round of the new series on November 20th, which will then move to the
Champions League enters its final stages, with the battle for the third place taking place today. Morocco's Asfar and Equatorial Guinea's Malabo Kings will take on each other at the 30th June Stadium in Cairo, with a